Today is Wednesday, May 4th, 2016. We have several bills to consider, so why don't we begin?
Senate Bill 783 by Senator Golden, an act to amend the executive law in relation to designating the month of September as Firefighter, Police Officer, and Emergency Medical Technician Appreciation Month.
Discussion?
Move the bill.
Senator Kruger moves the bill. Senator Little seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Next, Senate 852A.
By Senator Klein, an act to amend the Social Services Law in relation to the tracking and reporting of elder abuse and providing for the repeal of such provisions upon the expiration thereof.
Discussion? Okay. Senator Little moves. Senator Valesky seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1199A.
By Senator Marchone, an act to amend the executive law in relation to providing for an increase in the rates of compensation for Gold Star parents.
Discussion?
Move the bill.
Senator Valesky moves the bill. Senator Kruger seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1200A.
By Senator Marchone, an act to amend the executive law in relation to providing for an increase in the rates of annuities payable to veterans and surviving spouses of veterans.
Discussion?
Move the bill.
Senator Kruger moves the bill. Senator Boyle seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1211.
By Senator Little, an act to amend the Agriculture and Markets Law in relation to the Wood Products Development Council and to amend the Environmental Conservation Law in relation to contracts for timber or other forest products.
Discussion?
Quickly. I'll be voting no on Senator Little's bill. It would take the controller out of the approval process, and I don't believe that there is a unreasonable delay under the current system.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Senator Ritchie moves. Senator Boyle seconds. Negative votes? Senator Kruger? Any
And I have a series of other no's that I will submit. Thanks.
But the bill's reported. Thank you. Senate 1382.
By Senator Marchone, an act to amend the military law in relation to the issuance of a New York State Vietnam War Service Medal.
Discussion? So moved by Senator Kruger, seconded by Senator Little. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1422.
By Senator Carlucci, an act to direct the Office of Children and Family Services to examine, evaluate, and make recommendations on the availability of daycare for children, and providing for the repeal of such provisions upon expiration thereof.
Senator Boyle moves. Senator Valesky seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1766.
By Senator Avella, an act to amend the executive law in relation to designation of days of commemoration.
Discussion? Senator Kruger moves. Senator Boyle seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 1921A.
By Senator Marcelino, an act to amend the tax law in relation to making technical corrections to the conservation easement tax credit.
Discussion? So moved by Senator Valesky. Senator Ritchie seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 2254.
By Senator Larkin, an act to amend the education law in relation to the definition of severely and permanently disabled for purposes of eligibility for certain scholarships and loans.
Move the bill.
So moved by Senator Kruger, seconded by Senator Valesky. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 2727A.
By Senator Griffo, an act to amend the tax law in relation to the volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers credit to repeal paragraph 2 of subsection E2 of section 606 of such law relating thereto.
Discussion? Senator Little moves. Senator Valesky seconds. Negative votes? Bills reported. Senate 3013.
By Senator Young, an act to amend the tax law in relation to the determination of sales and compensating use taxes due.
Discussion?
I will continue to vote no on your bill, Senator Young, as in previous years, but I would urge you to take a look at the package from my recent hearing on sales tax suppression and options for the state, and I will make sure your office gets that because I think those proposals could solve a problem that you are definitely having in your district.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Valesky moves. Senator Little seconds. Negative votes? Senator Kruger? Bills reported. Senate 3071A.
By Senator Young, an act to amend the executive law, the Family Court Act, the Criminal Procedure Law, and the Judiciary Law in relation to enacting Renee's Law.
Senator Little moves. Senator Boyle seconds. Negative votes? Senator Kruger. Senate 31, the bills reported. Senate 3113. Senator
An act to amend the education law in relation to providing scholarships for surviving dependent family members of New York State military personnel who have died while performing official military duties.
Discussion.
Move the bill.
Senator Krueger moves, Senator Little seconds, negative votes. Bill is reported. Senate 4615A.
By Senator Lanza, an act to amend the tax law in relation to authorizing a personal income tax deduction for elementary and secondary school teachers for certain expenses incurred for school supplies.
Discussion. Senator Little moves as a former teacher. Senator Boyle seconds, negative votes. Bill is reported. Next, 5458C.
By Senator Hannan, an act to amend the public health law in relation to authorizing the establishment of limited service clinics.
Discussion.
This bill has been amended, but there are still many concerns, and it still allows for for-profit model of health care in the state, so a number of us, the Senate Democrats, will be voting no, including myself.
Thank you very much. Senator Valesky moves, Senator Little seconds, negative votes. Senator Krueger, others. The bill is reported. Next, we have Senate 6048 by Senator Croce.
An act to amend the Iran Divestment Act of 2012 and certain other related provisions.
Discussion. Senator Valesky moves, Senator Boyle seconds. Senator Croce?
The Croce bill.
Thank you.
You're right.
Okay, the bill is reported. The next bill, 6086, is being held by the sponsor's request, and the bill after that is 6579.
By Senator Murphy, an act to amend the executive law in relation to requiring state agencies which issue licenses, registrations, permits, and/or certifications to annually report on the periods of time taken to process each application, therefore.
Discussion?
I will be voting no. While I appreciate the frustration over delays in processing permits, this bill would actually remove the revenue when an agency was behind. That seems to me, if you're understaffed and that's why you're behind in getting your work done, decreasing your revenue just increases the chances you don't have the staff to complete the assignment. So I'm voting no. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Senator Boyle moves, Senator Little seconds, negative votes other than Senator Krueger. Okay, the bill is reported. And finally, we have Senate 6613.
By Senator Ritchie, an act to amend the agriculture and markets law in relation to increasing the acreage of farm woodland which qualifies as land used in agricultural production for agricultural assessment purposes.
Discussion. Senator Valesky moves, Senator Little seconds, negative votes. Bill is reported. That concludes the Senate Finance Committee meeting, and I want to thank all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you. Back to the next one.